What's up, peeps? It's your boy Rojo. It's that time. It's Sunday. Every Sunday, we're going to be right here with you. We got a special guest going on today with us, Mr. Larry Williams. Also got my boy with me, of course, always with me, Big Darkness
You got
59.
it. What's up?
And we got some really good stuff coming at you today. Larry's going to give us just a little blueprint on how things have changed for his life changes and just how he's running things right now. Larry, we'd like to welcome you to the show, man. And it's one of those times where now we can just kind of talk about, and you can give us some ideas or share some ideas with others out there that is trying to get in this world of fitness, be an entrepreneur, be a fitness overall, and just kind of give us a little take about you, and then we can go from there. Welcome.
Yeah, for sure. Once again, I appreciate you guys, having me on. This is, a blessing to be able to, be here talking to, one of the, two of the greats, two of the legends here that, that's been in the game for a very long time, so it's an honor. But yeah, like Robert said, I've been in this, game for, a long time. That's not as long as them, but I've been in this fitness space for about 15 years now. I'm a transformation coach, and how I got into this was through bodybuilding. And bodybuilding, I can truly say, even to this day, that it saved my life and it has put me in a position to be able to, to transform lives.
Hey, Larry, when you said it saved your life, give us a little bit of detail on that. How,
Yeah,
how
for
did that come
sure.
about?
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. I was saved back in 2006, 2007, in my mid 20s. I did a lot of partying, I did a lot of drinking. One night, a situation happened, and lucky enough that nobody was on the road. And I ended up getting the DUI, and I felt at that moment that changed everything for me. My perspective, my mindset, my surroundings, my environment, and I knew something had to change because I felt that. My life was spiraling down from that moment on. And so I knew I had to make a change. So, and that led me to getting to exercising. Once I got into exercising and being, consistent and committed with that for about a year or two, then that led me in, to bodybuilding. And how I got led into bodybuilding was my weightlifting partner at the time, pushed me to, just to try something different and get out of my comfort zone. And that's exactly what I did in my first bodybuilding show. Of course, as an amateur, took, first place in, in a open lightweight class. And I knew then that once I took first place, I knew that this is something I could stick with. I never took first place in any sports that I competed in, from, being in elementary, middle school to high school. And I knew then that I took first place. I knew that this is something that I could stick with. And that's where it started from there. And I never looked back.
So
Awesome.
when you're in the process of bringing people on board with you as a transformation coach, are you sharing with them your story, or are you just trying to involve them into the fitness world and then start to share your story? At that point, how do you get people to start to believe in you?
Right. It's like watching a movie, right? A movie is a story, and people don't feed in, into the movie unless it has a story. So of course, that's where I first start off with, is sharing my story, right? Because if
Right.
they just see me, they just see just all the muscles. They can't relate to that because that's not how they want to look. So I have to break down my story to share with them and let them know, like, I've been where you're at. Now I may not be in the same, have the same goals of what trying to lose weight, but I know what it's like of not having the motivation. I know what it's like being in a depressed state and not wanting to find ways to get out of it and make yourself better. So I can share my story on how I got started, because everybody has to start from somewhere. Everybody has to start from somewhere. But as adults, we have to make a choice. The choices that we make will set us up for whether that we're going to be successful or we're going to be unsuccessful. So I had to make that choice of changing my surroundings, changing my environment. I had to make that choice in order for me to be better. And this is how that, I share my story, with clients that's looking to make that change with their health and fitness. And you have to look at it. You got to look at the long-term goal, right? If the goal is wanting to lose weight, but if you continue to talk about it, you want to lose weight, but nothing changes, how is that going to affect you 3, 6, 12 years, down the road? How is that going to affect you? Are you willing to settle for that? And that's how I come in and being able to explain, to my clients that fitness is important, not just for looks, but how it can, help you mentally and help you to be able to not, I wouldn't say just live better, but live, longer years.
Got you. Hey, Larry, and I say this all the time. I say we're regular people. You know, we just chose and we made decisions to enhance our lifestyle as far as especially as we get older. You know,
Yeah.
start doing the things and being a transformation coach. We're all basically in the same realm, but we know that hey, you have a business, your own gym, Dove Fitness. How did that come about?
That's a great question, man. And I feel, everything. I always tell my wife that, man, I'm always lucky when opportunities, happen. And, how my gym came about was when it happened, my goal wasn't to have a gym really not until 2025. And with me, leaving, both of my jobs in 2019, and finally going all in as a personal trainer, my goal wasn't even thinking about getting the gym. It was, of course, starting from the bottom, building up my clientele, and just work from there until I'm successful enough to be able to open up my own spot. Then a year later in 2020, uh, a a clothing company that I was working with printing out my shirts and all that kind of stuff. The owner of the clothing company that did a embroidery, he had an opportunity for me. He had gave me a call. He was like, "Hey, I need you to come in. I have something that I want to present to you." I said, "Okay, for sure, not a problem." He said, "Hey, you know what? I don't know you very well, but man, a lot of clients that I have coming in, they know you. And I've been hearing a lot of great things about you, about how you are as a trainer, how you're getting these clients, results. I have an open spot next door that I'm getting ready to open. I've been thinking about making it as a gym. Is this something that you want to take over and happen?" And at first, it threw me by surprise, and I hesitated. First, my first answer was like, You know what? No." I said, honestly, I said, man, this is a great opportunity, but you know what? I don't think I'm ready yet. But then I stopped myself. I said, you know what? Yes. Because if I put this off, because this is why it's happening for a reason. If I put this off, then I won't be, then it may not ever happen for me to get a gym. So I knew that if I'm gonna do it, it must happen now. I gotta take that risk now. This is why I'm doing it for. Right. And that's why I tell clients all the time, this is why it's important that that we have a vision board. On my vision board, my goal was to have a gym in 2025, but on my vision board, working to that, it led me to getting it a lot sooner. And that's the thing, people talk about that they want to get to certain places, but yet when it finally happens so quickly, they don't know what to do with it. Oh,
And,
so I'm sorry, go ahead.
and because I know you, I remember you training out of the garage at the park by your house. And next thing I know, you said, "Hey, I got something coming." And I was like, "Wow, he's got a gym." And then I just realized what you just said because every time I go by, I see the shirt and the embroidery place right next door. I had
Yep.
no idea that was correlated with you. None.
Yep. Yep.
So basically, people out there who's listening to this, what I've got from all this, and I'm hoping that you guys are picking up on this, is that opportunities are always knocking at your door. And when those opportunities come, we always are not ready for them. That's why there are opportunities.
Mhm.
And so taking advantage of an opportunity will allow you to see how far or how much do you really want that goal to come into play that you have via vision board, via just thought process that one day I want to. So just remember out there, man, when it comes to anything. And what Larry's basically saying is that whether it's losing weight, whether it's gaining weight as a bodybuilder, whether it's just wanting to maintain what you got to believe that when you have chose someone to help you get better, that is an opportunity for you to get better. And you have to learn to invest in yourself. he had someone who was willing to invest in him. So you take advantage because Larry is investing his time in you to help you reach your goals. So we're all scratching each other's back. It's just that don't fall away from opportunities, especially when it comes to your health, especially when it comes to investing in your time with someone who truly know what they got going on and they're willing to give you 100% so that you can look back and go, wow, man, I reached my goal. The opportunity came. I met Larry. Life became good. And now I understand it. Now you can share Larry with other people. It's kind of
Yeah,
how it goes.
yeah, Rob, do you mind if I go in and chime in? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
And that,
Go ahead.
yeah, and I think and I think that's the thing, Rob and Mike, is where people look at health and fitness as if it's an expense. And that's why I say that bodybuilding saved my life, and this is what people don't really realize when it comes to bodybuilding, especially when you're an amateur, is that you're investing a lot of money with really nothing in return.
Yes.
Because on show day, all you really getting is either a trophy, or you may not walk off with a trophy. So all the money that you're spending on supplements, food every week or every 2 weeks, your the stage clothing, the posing underwear, and all these things, the certifications, and the cards that you have to pay to even enter the show. People don't realize the investment that bodybuilders make. I'm not making a comparison with just the average people and and the bodybuilder, but the point I'm trying to make is that with bodybuilders, that we're making an investment and not looking at how much that we're putting in. We're looking at the outcome. That's what it's all about. It's putting the investment into you to get the outcome. Because if you don't put the investment in, how do you expect to get the result that you're trying to get? So if I'm gonna put in $1,500 into this show, best believe I'm gonna work my butt off to make sure that I get on stage and either take that first place. It goes the same way when it comes to our fitness. If you're going to make the investment, then you have to make the investment to know, like, you're putting in to get the outcome. But now look, we can never control the outcome. But what we can control is our actions. We can't control our behavior. If your behavior doesn't align with your goals, then you're not going to get the result or the outcome that you're trying to reach. And this is where I let my clients know is that, yeah, I understand that you still want to hang out with family, still want to hang out with friends, but you can't hang around with people that is not doing what you're doing. Because soon enough, if you hang around people that always make excuses, that always complain, that always say, man, that costs too much, where do you think your mindset is going to be? When you hear that so many times, you're going to end up falling into that same mindset, that same behaviors of these people that are doing the complaining, that is making the excuses. And yet, this is what I still scratch my head, where that they listen to these people that ain't doing nothing, that try to tell them, oh, you don't need to go to that gym. You don't need to be working out that much. But yeah, these are people that's not living it. And you listen to these people, but don't listen to an expert or a pro that is living it, that is trying to provide you guidance and teach you habits for you to be able to dominate and be able to get long lasting results. But yet you want to listen to your mama and auntie over there that ain't they ain't never touched a dumbbell in their life,
And
or even got on a.
And that's a conversation I think we've all had, and you're hitting it right on the head. We talk about that quite a bit. Your circle has to change. I mean, because you're living a fitness lifestyle, and that's why we call it a fitness lifestyle. We don't call it something that it's not a crash diet. Larry and Rob, we talk about this all the time. If you don't make that change into a lifestyle, all you're going to do is go right back into that pit that you was in. And that's what you're saying, Larry. That's my understanding you're saying. So what I always tell people is, if this is going to be your lifestyle, the changes doesn't have to be so drastic, because as you go, because it's going to be an everyday thing. That's why when we see that, hey, you know what, it's not, I don't call it a cheat meal. We talk about this all the time. It's just a meal, to enjoy your food, just like, I see you all the time, Larry, talking about, hey, enjoy your meals. You can eat this and that. You don't have to give up everything, but you got to go back to what you were doing already. You can't say, hey, I'm going to do this today, and then all of a sudden you put in all this work for 8 to 12 weeks, and then all of a sudden you quit, because It's not a lifestyle change. When you make a lifestyle change, of course, you got to, if you make a real lifestyle change, of course, you're gonna eliminate people out of your life, because if you don't, if you don't, you're gonna be right back in that pit, and that pit's always pulling you. And the reason why they're pulling you, I got a buddy that says a boiling crabs. If you got crabs, they're all pulling each other down. So that's what you're in. You're in that pot with boiling crabs, because they're always going to try to pull you down. And that's the greatest analogy anybody can give you, because if you're in that boiling pot and they're pulling you down, you'll never make it out.
Right. And let's really be real for a minute, and it really comes down to, when it comes to making this as a lifestyle, nobody wants to do the work because they look at it as if it's hard. But what's hard? Where that you're gaining 10 to 15 pounds every year. What's hard? Where that you're walking a flight of stairs and you still over here trying to catch your breath. You're out of breath trying to walk up a flight of stairs. That's hard. That's hard. But yet people look at exercising like it's too hard. But the thing is, it's supposed to be hard. People think that, and I know, and I get it, as humans, that we want things easy. And this is why I feel that one of the many reasons why that people don't get into exercising and don't get into fitness, because they look at like, man, this is the work I got to put in. Man, you know what? I got to do this. And again, that all comes down of changing your mindset. If your mindset doesn't change on you wanting change, then nothing's going to happen, because you must change your identity if you want the results that you're craving for. But that won't happen.
I always try to tell people, if you want different, you got to do different. Because clearly what you got going on right now is not giving you what you want. So you want different, you got to do different. And even, even with people who have a social group of friends that they enjoy hanging out with, you can also, as they say, you can also convert those people over. If they see you doing good, and you just, no matter what they give you, you keep eating good, at some point they're going to go, I'm going to do that.
Right.
And so you can kind of get some of those people to adapt to that. You become the leadership of that negative group. And but I, in the long run, I do agree. Sometimes you do have to change your circle, but sometimes you can control your circle too.
Yeah.
And you want to run,
right?
Absolutely.
And this is why. Yeah, and it's how when I let my clients know, and my mom might get mad. She's with her seeing this podcast, but when I got into bodybuilding, and and I let my mom know, like, hey, I'm about to get on bodybuilding, and her response was that, don't expect me to see you on stage wearing a thong, because coming in from a saying a black household, at least from my mom, they look at that like that's some fruity tooty type stuff. Right. You on stage with a thong on over here doing all this flexing, and you oiling up like, who, you know what I'm saying? And knowing that my parents are my support, but knowing that I didn't get that support, that's what made me think even more deeper that, what, I have to change. I do have to change my environment, my circle. Even with this family, I can still love them from afar, but I can't keep them around from where I'm trying to go. And there's nothing wrong with them staying where they're at. There's nothing wrong with that. They can continue to stay where they're at, but that's not where I'm trying to stay. I'm trying to get surpassed that. But if I continue to listen to people that wants to keep me here because they're afraid, then I'm never going to, experience what that next level feels like. Even to this day, all the years that I've competed in bodybuilding, I've been competing in bodybuilding for like 10, 12 years. My parents only came to 2 to 3 shows. Out of all the shows that I competed in 10 and 12 years, and I competed in about 9 to 10, but maybe even more than that. And they only came to 2 to 3 shows. Just the fact because they didn't want to see me on stage because I had a thong on.
But that's
Not
okay.
just
I mean, yeah, that's okay. I totally hear what you're saying.
but my point making, and I know I got off track. The point I'm trying to make is that even your loved ones are not going to support you that you think they're going to support you while you're on this journey.
Sure.
So
That's
you're going
just
to
the
have to
life.
make,
That's life in general, though, young brother.
yeah,
So life in
yeah,
general, your closest people are not going to always be your biggest cheerleaders, but your
right,
closest people, those are your closest people. The not abandonment, but the just distancing myself because I am the only fitness person in my whole family lifehood, right? And so I become that Hercules to everybody. And of course, they want to go, oh, come on, baby, try some of this. Oh, baby, come on, try some of that. Yeah, I'm going to say yes to some of that. But if they don't come to my show, I'm doing that for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same as you was doing it for you. And I get what you're saying about we all want family involved the whole time. And people out there who's listening to this story, this is so cool that he's sharing this, is because it goes to show you how we as a group, family wise, sometimes my family don't put up with the stuff that we do, whether it's bad or good. So it's two sides to that coin. And but you also know that if it's good and they still don't want to support, I love you, but I'm going to go do this. You don't have to come see me naked, but I'll be back home for church. I see you on Sunday, whatever the case may be. And then you just kind of roll with it because
Right.
yeah.
if we want our fam to be supportive on everything we do, we kind of screw.
Right, and but just
Yeah,
imagine how people don't get started because they don't have the support.
right. But that's where our jobs
Yeah,
come into play.
Right.
yeah, right,
The
And
same
that,
same thing you're preaching right now.
right.
That's how we
yeah,
get them to go,
And,
oh, okay, I get it now.
and
I don't have to like be
right.
far away, but I'm just gonna do my thing. And they're gonna either appreciate what I've done to my body because everybody's gonna say, oh man, you look so good now. What are you doing? Blah blah blah. But I'm gonna come watch you. Okay, love you.
And Larry, I've seen you guys at work, you and your wife at work, man, and how you guys do things, man. You guys do a great job, and I know you're not going to say this, but you guys were voted like probably the best. I think the best fitness place in Lodi and in the city, and I always recommend it, and all the reviews are always great. I've seen you from the beginning to where you guys are at now, man, and you have really expounded and expanded, and your clientele. You see what your clientele is getting, and that's what you're giving them. You're giving what Robert said. You're giving them that love and that encouragement that maybe the family, they may be the reason why they're there is because they weren't getting it, and they're getting it from you. You're getting that. You're giving it to them. But I want to kind of move on to this. You turned 40 this year.
yes,
Right. So
yes.
how does that feel? And what kind of impact does it have on you as far as your fitness journey now? From your 20s and 30s, are you making any changes? Are you still the same? Or, because that's what we kind of sharing too with people.
Yep, that's a great question, and yeah, so my training has changed a whole lot since I stopped, bodybuilding, and like I said, I still have bodybuilding in my heart. It will always live within me, but I don't train like a bodybuilder anymore. As I get older, is just where that my body just is not able to take that amount of poundage. And it's not to say that I still don't lift heavy, but now I train more for performance. I got 3 kids that young ones that move around, and I want to still be able to sprint. I still want to be able to jump. I still want to have power and explosiveness, which we do lose as we get older in our in our 30s, 40s, and 50s. That starts to dwindle if that's not being kept up. And I had to start looking at that like, man, if I don't want this to decline, it's like the saying goes, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's something I don't want to lose. I still want to, when I'm in my 50s, my kids call me out for a race. Best believe I'm gonna be ready. Best believe I'm gonna be ready. And just like the other day, playing basketball with my sons on the court, I said, "Wait a minute, watch dad, what daddy can do," and I jumped up, hung on the rim. Like daddy still got that bounce. You know what I'm saying? And still show my kids why it's important, why I train, so that way when they get older, they can still have that athletic ability, to be able to do, a lot of things, And I see people my age that, like I said, that walk up a flight of stairs and get winded, right? And I hear it all the time where, man, I see friends my age that talk about how tired they always are. They always want to just, sleep in and just, lay around like, oh man, I can't do what you do, like how you doing with your kids. But like, man, like you're really missing out a lot. And this is why,
So
again,
what type
how
of
it
training regimen that you would recommend to people 40 and above?
what I would recommend if you have not done any, type of, training, or you're just new at it, just, I would start with the basics first by just starting with your body weight, right? You got to learn the basics first. This is what I tell people. You got to be able to master the basic first. Once you master the basics of doing, body weight movements, doing, a lunge, body weight squat, push up, even that, and just how far that people are losing out on doing the calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups. These are things that are important, that actually could save your life. And these are the things that people are not doing. And I think you guys can answer this. How many men that is 30, 40, 50 years old that can't even do 10 push-ups,
Percentage is high.
right?
I would say 50% for sure.
Right.
I
You
would say
say so.
50%
Yeah. And
of
so
people
what I
that
tell,
can.
like, again, yep. And this is what I tell people. We all got to start from somewhere. Start, master the basics first. Once you get comfortable and you're confident of mastering the basics, then go ahead and look into, doing resistance training. Right. And if you don't know, what to do when it comes to resistance training, then you may want to look for outside help that can help get you, and that can teach you, guide you, and mentor you to help get you where you need to get to.
So would you agree that um, 9 out of 10 people coming to the gym want to be lifting weights, not just functional movements? You agree to that, right? I'm just going to make a statement first, but you agree to
Yeah.
that, right?
So
Okay.
9 out of 10.
So
So yeah,
not 9 out of 10 people come in the gym and you say we're gonna do functional movement, they're gonna go, no, I really want to go do bench press and I want to do some bicep curls because that's what they come in there for, right? So I'm a client, I come in and I say, you know what? I really don't care to do any functional movements, but as a trainer, you already know I'm going to have to implement that at some point, right? So would you recommend for any trainers that are out there listening, that would you recommend that you not forcefully, but you kind of go, no, we're going to do this first because this is going to be best for you? Or do you give them a little bit of what they want and then add a little bit of what you want?
yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. And this is why that you have to, pre-qualify the people that you're going to train, because you have to know what their issues are, what their problems are. Then whatever problems that you have, then this is where you go in and explain how you help people, and how you do things, because every trainer is different. Everybody has a different, training style, but you have to explain to your client or prospect on how you get them results, right? Because if you're trying to tell me that you should be doing X, Y, and Z, then you're telling me how to do my job.
Correct.
And this is why it's important that whoever that you're training, this is why it's important for trainers out there that's listening. You want to pre-qualify if they're going to be the right fit for you, or you're going to be the right fit for them. So
Good
what I
answer.
so what I tell, explain to clients that's getting ready to train with me, I let them know. I said, look, the training style is how we're going to do is where it's not a split body part day where we just focus on legs on Monday and chest on Tuesday. Like, no, we're knowing that that you're only able to invest 3 times a week. We're gonna get most out of those 3 days. So we're going to be training full body for the 3 days that you're going to train with me. So then that way that you're going to get most out of your training in the less amount of time. So I want to, my how my training style or training day will look like tomorrow is Monday. So we'll normally start off with doing a strength phase, a strength building phase, to where that we may be doing, for an example, like a split a Bulgarian split squat followed by some type of explosive power movement. It could be a med ball slam or a box jump, and it will be followed by some type of pull movement. That could be a lat pull down, that could be an inverted row, that could be a trap bar deadlift. So it's going to always consider some type of push and pull movement, whether if it's upper body and lower body. Right. And then, we break it down to where after the strength phase, then we break it down to focusing on the muscle building. Right. And that's where we up the rep count. We're doing between 10 to 15 for, maybe, 3 sets or 2 sets, depending where their fitness level is. Right. I don't have everybody doing the exact same thing when they come into my program. Right. I have some clients that are advanced. I have, clients that are that are starting out that are beginners. So they're not going to have the same training program. So, they may only need to do 2 sets of, 6 to 8 reps. That's what they could just handle for right now until we're able to gradually, go up from either day to day or week to week.
So if you was training a competitor, if a competitor is listening right now and
I
they
don't
want
train
to get ready.
competitors. I don't train competitors.
Okay.
I don't
All
train
right. Well,
competitors.
okay.
I don't train competitors. So my focus, I focus on the everyday people. I know that competitors are average people too, but my target audience, my niche is that busy adult, busy men and women over 30 that want to look, feel, and perform better. That's who I want to help. I want to help where I can take somebody that's at point A and being able to take them to point B.
Gotcha. Let me ask you something else. I know because our time is running out. So Larry, with Dub Fitness, where do you see now that you own your gym, you've expanded, and you're doing stuff? What is your next step in Dub Fitness?
My next step is, being able to continue to expand in the community, do a lot more, joint ventures to be able, to not only, help myself, but also help, other businesses to, let the community know that, we're here to help. We're here to, to transform lives, for the better. And that's what it's going to really start with is, getting into the community and then allowing people to know on what we do and how that we can help them to to live better years.
Good. Okay. Okay. Rob, got anything you want to add?
No, I just want to shout out to my boy Larry, and with the information that you shared, I think that you would definitely be considered a top-notch coach in a sense. It's always nice to hear someone with passion behind what they're involved in. Your passion is definitely there, and the people who are out there listening to all of this, some things that I would recommend for you to understand through this is that choose your trainer properly. Make sure you got someone
Yeah.
who's got your interest and
Yeah.
not someone who's just telling you a money fee and then saying what they can do for you before they even evaluate you. So
Right.
there's a lot of different things go into getting a trainer. And when you find someone that can share knowledge with you that is clear and makes you understand what they're doing, then it's a lot easier to choose that person. But bottom line is that when you do choose a trainer, just make sure you're not trying to tell them what to do. You may tell them your issues, but not tell them what to do because you came to them. You don't tell your doctor how to make you feel
Right.
better. You
Right.
just kind
Right.
of roll with it, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And
So
I
for
know.
sure.
Yeah, I know that we're that we're due for time right now, but this is for anybody that's inspired to be a trainer or are trainers and business owners. Just know my thing to end this off with is you got to continue to stick with it. there's going to be hard times, in this, right? And this is why, that we do it for, though. And it's going to be hard times, but you got to continue to stick with it. And if you are an upcoming trainer, you know, my thing for you is that you've got to improve on your connecting skills, with people. You got to have communication. You got to have people skills. If you're not a type of person that likes to communicate and don't like to be around, people or talk to people, then this field may not be for you, because you're in the business of helping people. And if you're not a people person, then this career of being a coach is not going to last long. And I've seen so many coaches that that faded out, because this ain't for the faint of the heart. Like, you got to have grit being able to be in this game, and that's real talk. And it's not an easy field. So, if you're an upcoming, or if you are a coach, stick with it. You got to commit, 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 commit.
And kind of piggyback off that, just because you're in the gym all the time doesn't mean you make a great trainer. And that's I know that's basically what we're saying. You have to have a passion. You have to have a passion to want to help people. You want to have a passion for what you're doing. I've seen, both of you guys, how you guys operate, man. And that's one of the reasons why we connected. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be on this podcast with you, Robert. You know that as well. We have so many commonalities, and that's it. Larry, you're so energetic, man, with people, and I with everybody you train, from the young kids. Because you train young kids too. I see you train young kids to people my age,
Yeah.
You have to have that passion, and as trainers, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And like I said, just because it's people that think, well, that guy's in the gym, that lady's in the gym, they're physically fit and everything, and they all of a sudden they want, I'm a train now. Nah, everybody's not built for that, and we see it all the time. Just like you said, they fizzle out, but people gravitate to that instead of doing their homework and looking at the people that can really help them.
Yeah. Just like last night, me and my kids had a workout session. My 8-year-old son squatted 100 pounds, but he had, before doing 100 pounds, he failed at 2 attempts before doing it, and he started tearing up. But I saw that moment, he started tearing up because of how bad I see that he wanted it. So I had to coach him to let him know, like, look, I'm okay if you don't want to do this. I'm okay with that, because like, you already did more than enough. But he was like, nah, like, he's like, I know I can do it. I said, okay, then if you're going to do it, your mindset got to be right. All right. I need you to come in and believe in yourself. You got to believe that you can do it. I believe in you, but you got to believe that you can do it. And sure enough, he got in on that third attempt, crushed it. And that motivated my daughter. My daughter's in the 8th grade, and she ended up squatting 135 pounds. My daughter squatted 135 pounds, and my 8-year-old son squatted 100 pounds.
It was the hug after for me, though. That's what got me. It was like, no, he got the way. I saw how you did everything, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But it was the hug, man. It was. He'll never forget that. He'll never forget that. Yep. But we got to close. So with that, Larry, let everybody know where you at and how to reach you.
Yeah. So, again, my name is Larry Williams. I am a transformation coach. I am the owner of Dove Fitness. We are located in Lodi, California. We're off of Cherokee and Lodi Avenue. Phone number is, you need to reach out to us, at 209-915-7634. Email is LarryDub with 2 B's, fitness@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram as Mr. Dove Fitness, and also on Facebook as Larry Dub Jr.
And Rob, I know you changed your handle, so let them know what it is now.
Yeah, I everybody out there in TV land, this is what I did. My Instagram handle was 60 Fit Club, right? And so a lot of people was not sure if they should come to me on my Instagram or go to the YouTube channel, the podcast channel, and join in. So I went ahead and changed it to The Legend, which is what I am. In my head, I'm going to live with that. And so it's The Legend Robert Johnson. And so you want to find me, that's where I'm at now on Instagram. It's The Legend Robert Johnson. And of course, this is where we party right here at 60 Fit Club Podcast. Just make sure you tell everybody out there that's listening to this, man. He's amazing. If you got people live in the area, send them that way. But you guys go subscribe to this show. The more you subscribe, the more people see it. And we appreciate you coming on board, my friend. I wish you well. We're always here for you. And if you need anything, you need a shout out or something, just come back and we'll put you on the channel and we'll make it work.
Most definitely.
For
Most
sure.
definitely. Let me. I gotta get so people can see.
You got to get
hit
yours.
me.
You got to
Hit
get
me.
yours. Get yours. Get yours.
Hit me on IG on Big Darkness 59, Pocket Darkness 59. I'm out
Yeah,
there. Hit us up. Hey, and I even put something out there. So if y'all get confused on how to subscribe, when you go to that YouTube channel, I put a little tutorial out there for y'all.
Right.
But like I said, hey, I love Larry, man. He's my little brother, man. I've seen him from when he started, man. Like I said, man, I'm so proud of you, man. All the things that you do. We go back and forth. We'll recommend clients to each other. Hey, we'll even go out and do workouts every now and then. Maybe, hey, we got to get you out here, Robert, or we got to all go out there, get a workout in one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm looking to come in that way too, because I'm not sure where I'm going to be competing next year. But there's only one out there in you guys' area for 60+ men, and they got 2 here in Texas and 1 in Florida. So we'll see. We'll make something happen. But somewhere or another, we'll get together just because. It doesn't have to be anything else.
There you go.
Yeah.
So with that being said, hey, we got to get out of here, man. We got to go catch this game.
Right.
So,
all right, fellas, again, I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
For 65th Club, we're out.
Boom.